Happy Space. My name is Crystal Udinate, and today I am going to be working on 2 layouts using the Write Story Kit from Ali Edwards for Story Kit Crush. This is a series where I work through one story kit each month to tell a story, at least one story, every single week. Today we have a bonus. I actually have 2 instead of 1 because we're on the last Friday of the month. Next month, we're going to be starting a new story kit for Story Kit Crush, so I want to get both of these done before the month ends. These are both layouts that are in a 9x12 size, and both of them are using a photo as the foundation for the page rather than pattern paper. For one of them, I have a photo of my son, and I'm going to use this to document a trip that our family took to the zoo a couple months back. I believe this was the visit that we had in the beginning of April. And then the other page here, the other layout, is documenting my thoughts and feelings after taking a break from social media in the month of April. So last week I actually did a story that was the pre-story to this one. So thoughts, feelings on why I wanted to take a break from social media. And this one is a story about how that actually went. So let's just go ahead and get started. I'm going to try to see if I can put these together without having to put you on fast forward because they're both pretty easy. So it really won't take us that long. Okay, so for the first one here, I have these 3 craft pockets that came in the Write Story Kit along with these little tiny journaling pieces. So these are, I believe, 2 inches by 3 inches or somewhere close to that. And they slip down inside of the pockets that will hold them. I want to take these and layer them or put them in a column here down the side of the page. I'm choosing to put them on the left side of the page because my son Jonah is actually looking that way. So your eye automatically follows where he is looking. So it makes the most sense visually to have them on the left side. I wanted to have a couple more pictures in the layout here, especially since it's already an interactive layout where the pieces will be pulled out. The journaling comes out from the card. So I printed 3 photos that I'm going to adhere to the back side of these little journaling cards. So we'll adhere those back to back. I do have the story based on the photo that's with them. So I do need to match those up. And then we're just going to adhere everything down and call this one done. So let me see which one goes to which. I'm thinking this one is the penguins. This one is the reptile house, and then this one is my in-laws. Okay, so let's go ahead and get these adhered back to back first, and then I can just stick them into the pocket, and then we can adhere them down from there. So just adding some roller adhesive, sticking everything together, and then I'm going to put it down inside of the card here. So there's 1 and 2 and 3. All right, so with these all in their pockets, the next thing that I'm thinking, I actually wrote it here, this has helped to remind me, is that I want to see if I can find an embellishment that I can put on the front of these pockets to break up all of the brown. So I'm gonna pull over my circle embellishment container, and we're gonna go through that and see if we can find something to put on this layout. Actually, I might pull out a couple of my containers. So I'm going to put you on fast forward while I do that, just put some music on here, and let's see what we can find to pretty up this layout a little bit more. think I like these squares. I like the repetitive shape on there, and I like how it is framed by that craft paper around it. So I'm gonna go with those. Now, do I want these to be flat on here, or do I want them to have a little bit of lift? I think I want them to have a little bit of lift. So I'm going to pull out my foam tape. I have just a roll of foam tape, and I actually probably need to put in an order to get some more soon. I get mine from scrapbook.com, or you can also find it on Amazon. And I get mine in the 1/4 inch thickness. So then I just need my scissors. And I like using the roll of it because it has a little bit more even coverage, and it's also just easier to grab the backing from it instead of the little dots. Okay, so there is one. Let's go ahead and stick the chipboard on it. Like so. Okay, so there's one. Yeah, I like it with that little bit of lift. I think it helps you to see it. It helps it to not blend into the background so much, because having the dimension gives it a bit of shadowing. All right, let me get all this tape on here, and then we'll come back and actually stick everything down. Okay, so then this one here, this says I've got sunshine, is from an older paper person kit. And I think having a little bit of variation in the edging around the square gives this just an interesting element for the page. Is it going to stay though? The adhesive is not super great. So we're gonna actually put some extra adhesive on there so I don't have to worry about that falling off, especially since this is going outside of a page protector. To make my larger projects like this one go outside of the page protector, what I do is attach a piece of transparency, a 12 by 12 transparency, and I just trim it down so it's 12 inches by, let's say, maybe about 2 inches. And then I will stick my layout down onto the plastic, punch the holes, and then it can go inside of the album. All right, that's better. Okay, so there's that one and this one. Because really, in all of the different sizes, I like to have the option to create interactive layouts. All right, so now we need to just position everything evenly on the page as best we can. Maybe like that. And then we can stick it down. So let's start with the middle, and then we'll add the top and the bottom after that, so that we can keep everything even. And then I'm going to also use my tweezers just to help me get it into place. Think like that. Okay, so there's one. I love having the ability or the reason to go into my stash and use some of these older pieces too. It always feels good to use stuff up that I've been holding on to for a while. Okay, so here's number 2. Oh no, no. Come on. Okay, oh, we got it. That was almost really bad. Okay, so maybe I'll do it this way. Held my breath there for a second. Oh my gosh, how often does that happen to you? How often do you accidentally drop something on your photo and then the stress hits, you know? All right. Think about here, hopefully. Okay, that looks pretty good. All right, so let's grab the date stamp, and I'm gonna quickly find out what the date was that we actually went to the zoo, because I'd like to date stamp it with that date. And then we'll move on to the next one. Okay, so we went here on April 9th. Now I'm thinking I'm just gonna stamp it on the edge here, so that if I'm looking for it, I can find it. So we've got April 09, 2022. We're just gonna put it right here. Actually, yeah. Just like that. Okay, stamp that off. Okay, so here is the first one. So then we can pull out the little journaling pieces, little journaling cards, turn them over, and we've got some extra photos in there. So that one's the for the record. This one is the take note. And the documented with the kids in the reptile house. Okay, so let me set this one to the side and we'll bring over the next layout. All right, so for this next one here, I have printed out a photo, again, that's sized at 9 by 12. When I designed this, I originally designed it as a 12 by 12, but then decided I liked how everything fit much better when the photo was a 9 by 12. Now this is a picture of part of my studio here, and this is a lot of what I did when I took my break from social media. I got my studio all decorated, I worked on some house projects, I read some books, and it was just a really nice break from everything. So what I wanted to do on this layout is to actually use up all of these die cut cards or pieces. So we've got the speech bubble here that I wrote part of my journaling in, and then there is a heart in here somewhere. There's the heart, like the like button, you know, it's what it made me think of. I have the phone and the computer and another speech bubble and the pencils. So this covers up a lot of my photo, and that's actually something I'm totally okay with. I wanted the background of this to be something that represented taking a break and the things that I did while I was taking a break, but this is not the feature. The feature is actually the die cuts that are on top of the photo, which is also why I chose to print my photo with an opaque filter on top of it. So instead of this being the bright, vibrant colors that it really is, I turned down the opacity, I think is what I'm looking for, turned it down so that it was more faded, because I want this to fade into the background. I did, however, print two other photos. This one is a photo of a plant because I upped my plant game during that month. And this one is a picture of the thumbnail that I used on a YouTube video when I took my break, just to announce I wasn't going to be here for a month. So I'm going to actually put the YouTube thumbnail into the computer screen, and I'm going to put the picture of the plant into the phone. So I pulled over my craft knife, and I'm going to actually cut out those center parts. So I'm going to cut out the black screen, and I'm going to cut out the inside of the phone screen. So to do this, I just pull out my craft knife, and very carefully, I'm going to trim on the inside of this. I am going to definitely put you on fast forward while I do this so I can concentrate, and then we'll slow back down once I get this part done. so that gets my little die cuts backed with the photo. So I cut them out, applied a little bit of adhesive around them, and then stuck them down onto the photo. Super love how those look. So now what I want to do is once again bring over the foam tape, and I want to stick all of these pieces up on the foam. I think that that will be really fun and a graphic look. So we're going to turn everything over. We're going to grab this roll, and I'm going to go ahead and get all of this foam taped up, and then we'll come back when I've got it ready to adhere down onto the photo. All right, so we are foam taped up. So let's get this adhered down onto the photo. All right, I think I want to start up at the top here, and we'll go from the top to the bottom. So I'm just going to remove all of the backing here, just like we did before, and then I will probably use my tweezers to help me position things so I can get a good eye for where it's going before sticking it down. Hopefully I won't drop anything onto my photo this time. That would be no good. And then we'll see what else I need to do after that. All right, last but not least, we're going to add the date stamp on here. I'm just going to stamp this for the last day of March 31st, because that's when, let me see here. Actually, no, I'm going to stamp this for April 30th, because that's the end of April, which would have been the end of my little break. So we're going to stamp it down here in the bottom corner, and then we can call this layout done. So fun. I love getting to use all of the products on a page, right? That's one of my very favorite things to do, is to challenge myself to use all of one type of embellishment on one layout. And it always ends up coming up with, or it always ends up turning out a really cool layout. Okay, let me pull the other one back over here just for a final glance, and then we'll wrap up our Story Kit Crush series with the right story kit. All right, friends, there we go. So we have the last two layouts here for the Story Kit Crush series using the right story kit. I hope you have enjoyed seeing both of these layouts come together, and I hope you've enjoyed all of the projects we've created this month with the right story kit. Next month, I'm going to be breaking into a new story kit for Story Kit Crush. We'll be working with Senses, which was the story kit released in, oh gosh, it was released in May of 2022. Yes, May. So if you have that kit and you haven't told any stories with it yet, pull it out and participate with me. Make some stories, tell some stories, and let's get our story kits used. All right, friends, if you enjoyed this video, I would love a thumbs up down below, and make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, so you can follow along on all of my crafty adventures. I'll be back next week on Friday with my first story using the Senses story kit for Story Kit Crush, and then I'll have a couple other videos coming out earlier in the week, so keep an eye out for those. Until then, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, enjoy your weekend, and I will catch you in next week's videos. Bye, friends.